Welcome to the Dungeon House, where a bunch of regular people with regular jobs gather to play Dungeons and Dragons. We aren't professionals, so if you hear food ASMR or a baby in the back, just understand it's normal. This show is recommended for those 13 and up. The music you'll hear is brought to you by William Heaton and various other artists. We're glad that you're here to share in the fun and laughter, as well as the challenges along the way. So come on into our home, take a seat on the couch, and enjoy the Dungeon House.
So we all keep reusing the same silly NPC that had no reason to be there.
What'd be so funny?
Well, go ahead.
Sorry. We could isekai other people into the campaign.
To be the bad guys.
We'll have a story arc where Hayes shows up as just an infant.
Aww. We have to figure out how to take care of Hayes and stuff like that. Now we have a baby while we're adventuring. What are you gonna do with a baby when you're adventuring?
Oh, exactly. That's a situation.
That is a situation.
Is everyone here?
Your boss, your manager,
It turns out to be the boss of
your landlady.
Yeah.
Oh, I kill her.
Just straight up dead.
Or the evil king is actually your father. It's Dave.
It's Dave. I could actually see him doing a really good job as a big bad evil guy, just being able to persuade people and help them. Just a really friendly big bad.
It would be a perfect situation because he just fall into it. He took over a big bad evil boss king, and he's like, I'm just gonna slowly change it to a good place, but I gotta not act too weird.
And then it's a big reveal. We find out that Dave's the one that's actually the big bad evil guy that we've been fighting against, and we're like, Dave, how can we help you? But then everyone else thinks we're evil still because he still has the old people think of him like Dave the evil, but it turns out he's just Dave. Hey, it's just Dave. Guys, I think we're live. Yeah.
Is everyone here?
Hello there.
We're missing Brandon and Faith. So that's I think that's where we're at right now. Brandon had asked me previously if we could keep this to about try to finish up at 9:30, just for you guys, everyone to know. That's what we're going to try to shoot for, is not going past 9:30. He's feeling a little under the weather from what he texted me. He's to make sure he gets some sleep. So I just figured I'd mention that before he gets here. Before we get started, actually no, we'll talk about that during break.
Kevin.
We just need to, during break, talk about Christmas plans for everyone getting together. So everyone, don't forget that.
So during the break, we talk about the celebration of D&D during the winter solstice.
Exactly.
Hello?
Hey, Joey!
I did want to again say that I will not be here the entire time because I have rehearsal to go to, but I'll be here for a little while. So.
That's okay.
Okay, we'll see you at 7:30.
Well,
Boy,
was that my wife?
it was your wife.
She tried calling me, but I did not answer. I felt bad.
Okay, I answered for you.
Thank you. She doing good?
Yeah, no one's at her event, so she was just like, "Can I listen in?" And I was like, "Yeah, go to the YouTube page." So she's gonna be our viewer.
Our viewer. I was worried that she wouldn't have anyone at her event.
Oh, what's her event?
It was just kind of get to know you, HSA event for her college.
Will do.
Yeah.
But the problem is they want it to be this week, but she wasn't able to get the plans formalized until Monday, and so there wasn't really a lot of spread. Hey, what are you staring at? So that's just a little bit of the challenge. If she's listening in right now, I hope that she knows she is doing a good job and that she does great work.
Do we want to talk about the Christmas party?
I-
Save that for break.
I said,
Oh,
I already
you
talked about
Look, a
it.
snap.
We're doing an ad break.
Yeah, break, baby, break.
Oh, we already
We're doing an ad break. We're doing this now. I'm sorry, we're doing an ad break.
Oh,
We're gonna be able to see Joy and Kyle's face tonight, or no?
So Kyle's still in a
I-
precarious situation where he knows he doesn't have a place.
Okay. What was that, Joy?
I am currently getting ready, so
No, so no.
yeah,
Oh.
sorry.
That's okay.
Gonna
He's
be-
just like, burp.
he's
Oh,
just burping.
oh, my face.
Hi, Faye.
Hey,
She doesn't respond, but that's
We
okay.
know that she's here.
wait, Hayes wants to say hi to Faith.
Hey!
Oh. The audio quality is on point.
Hi, Hayes.
She's not. Hi. She's not paying attention to me. That's
Hi,
okay.
Bevy.
The baby-
Hi, Chase.
Can we get started?
We do need to get started. We are already 6 minutes in. We better just, jump into this. So we have a little bit of a need for a recap. McKay.
Oh, really? I feel like there's other people that haven't done it. Okay, I can do it. Okay, so last time everyone chatted in the comments about witches for a little bit. We learned that
Witches.
Moss has a witch. Ren likes witches. Barren hates witches. Other people are indifferent towards witches. And then
It's like the Veggie Tales. Everyone has a water buffalo, but like everyone has a witch.
yeah, everyone has a witch. So, and then let's see.
All witches lead to the ocean.
After that, Barren. I mean, this is out of order, but Barren threatened Elaine. So that was cool. And then Alia, we learned a little bit about Alia. Alia went up and saw the Hall of the Fallen where her father's name was, and we learned a little bit about that.
And Moss was there.
Moss was there. Barren joined as well, and that all happened. Moss started having like a baby. I believe
What?
we learned that you were pregnant and you birthed the fungus on your arm. And well, we don't know that, but the players know that. And you were in a lot of pain, and you went back to your room. And then people did stuff for downtime. So I know Moss and Ren explored curses, and I think Moss also did some service in the service room where he learned about medicine. And then there was a fishing trip that happened.
Yeah.
We
That-
prayed.
You did pray.
Oh, that
But
was
that was the
last
2 sessions
episode.
ago. But that's okay. You did pray. You did do that.
When prayer was happened. That was prayer was had. That's right. Prayer was happened. To start us off today with like the start of this week, I wanted to give Pinky the opportunity if she wanted to do anything on camera. Personally, she could do it now.
Sorry, give me a moment to think. Okay, I just have a quick question though. Like, what was the fishing trip? Who was invited?
Anyone, I think, could have came, but only Ren and Barren ended up going, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty early in the morning, kind of a last minute thing.
It won't be the last, though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, curious because I don't know. Pinky would just kind of hang out with people most often, but every opportunity that she gets, she will be asking questions about missing children. She would like to actually talk to Barren, because in Pinky's eyes, he seems to know the most about like monsters and fishy things that go on. She wants to talk to Barren about maybe if he knows anything about missing children across the land.
Sure.
So, okay. All right. So maybe this happens. So I don't know when this would happen.
Sure.
I wasn't here last time.
It doesn't matter when.
Cool.
Um,
Well, when you are not currently doing anything, Pinky will find the opportunity to approach you and just kind of say, "Hey, Barren, I have some questions for you. You have some time to answer them?"
Sure. Just
Cool.
hanging around.
hanging around.
Just to give us a little bit of a setting, I imagine this happening kind of in that common room where Pablo's been sitting, sleeping.
Yeah.
This is on his couch. Barron's just sprawled out on it, kind of relaxing. I'd say it's more like evening time. After the final meal, the main meal in the commons, you guys are all just about your own business, but Barron had made it back to his rooms a little early. Just to give us a little bit of a setting.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm sure you've noticed because you're a really smart guy, but I have been asking people about missing children, and I realized that I didn't ask you, and you seem knowledgeable about the world. Have you heard any stories of missing children? Just kind of in general, across the land, everywhere?
In general, I mean, kids go missing all the time. There's plenty of.
Like,
Go ahead.
say, village with a really nice family, and all of a sudden their child was taken, and you wanted to know where they were. I don't really know for sure if he was taken or if he was eaten by a monster. But you seem to know a lot about monsters. Do monsters take?
Yeah, plenty of monsters take kids. I mean,
I'm back.
fresh meat, right?
That's horrific.
Oh, hi, Adelaide.
Question.
It's like Adelaide comes out of the shower, like the women's bathroom in this oh, that's horrific. Just as you're walking back towards us.
And then just back.
I mean, there's lots of things that it could be, Pinky. I mean, witches or hags tend to deal with little kids fairly often. There's plenty of monsters that wouldn't mind finding a lone kid and taking them back to their lair and, torture them for fun or eat them or there's lots of things. So unless you got any more information, I mean, my guess is as good as yours.
Any additional?
Make a history check as you
Okay.
kind of listen to Barron talk about you need a little more specifics if you're going to try to figure out what this is.
Can I roll for anything as well to see if there's, or should
Okay,
I?
real quick though, before
With
I make
what-
the roll,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm assuming that that she's heard similar tales and that's why she's asking, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a pattern somewhere. Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check that. Oh no. A 9? Does that give me anything?
So with a 9, you remember some of the general things that you remember. So, and correct me if I'm wrong in telling this, Pinky, but you were around when this boy was taken. You knew him. It wasn't prior, right? Or was it?
To know the kid.
You did not?
Yeah, because I came and helped the grieving parents.
Okay. So with that, then you weren't really privy to a lot of the information from the parents themselves, especially with something that's so traumatic, with losing a child. You know that the child was taken, not killed. Then the parents With a 9, you remember them describing some sort of figure coming in the night, stealing him out of bed, and taking him. They'd rushed into the room, and they saw the figure jumping out of the window, holding the child in its arms.
Okay. Cool. Told, the child was taken in the night. Very rude. He was stolen from his bed, and the wonderful parents just saw him kind of disappear out the window with a shadowy figure. That, and it's not an isolated incident. I was told, and I've heard, and I've asked a lot of questions. So yeah, does that narrow the playing field a little bit?
I mean, if you said it's a figure, then potentially you can rule out, beasts such as trolls or ogres or anything like that. Potentially, it seems like it's more humanoid in what it could be. You said it wasn't isolated, so there's others that were dealing with this as well.
Were there, or was it like one in the village, one in the next village over, Chase?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Like it wasn't something that really struck a ton in one area. It was almost like the pattern moved going forward as you kind of think back on the pattern.
Does that sound like any sort of thing that I would recognize?
History check. Okay.
No. That's going to be a 5.
With a 5, there's nothing in your mindset that really stands out. You do know there's definitely places that that might contain knowledge about this, but the hardest thing is the word of the description. Even when you're talking with Pinky right now, he doesn't know all the details. And so your best bet would be going and finding the place, trying to talk to, getting the first account of what's going on.
Honestly, Pinky, without any more details, there's not much that I can do, let alone I think anyone else. I mean, I think your best bet would be to go back to wherever this is and see if you can find out anything more. I mean, maybe we can all go at some point, but sorry. That's all I got.
I haven't heard any reports of children being taken like that. Being, a monster hunter and all.
I mean,
Right? Does Pinky know that yet?
I'd say so.
It's been a long time, Pinky.
Oh. Who was it that entered the room right at this confrontation? Are they still in the room? Can I turn and ask them?
I'm sure there's lots of other people walking in and out. We're kind of just in our apartment, living room.
Yeah. So if there's anyone else in the party that you would like to
That wants to be there.
That you they would feel like they may have more information. We could mention that right now. Does anyone else feel like they might have information? Because I'd imagine that Pinky eventually would talk to every single one of them, every one of your companions. Anyone else feel like they would have any information on this?
If anything like that happened in Belnor, I feel like Adelaide might know about it because her dad works in government affairs. So if it was a big thing in Felnor, then possibly.
Okay.
Pinky, where did this happen?
A little town called Little Town. Is it a little town?
It was far away, but the biggest major town, it's still not too far, half a day's travel away from the town that you're thinking of. So they were adjacent to that. They were still part of that community, but they were far house in a distance away from it. So-
To the house where it happened. It's called Treeton. Treetown? Treeton?
But I reckon I know that.
It's a map.
I would know Treaton.
Treaton, you probably would know, as it's not terribly far away from where you grew up. If I'm remembering correctly. Let me look at the map.
Honestly, Pinky, had this one going on, 15 years ago, something, then maybe we could have done something. But right now, I don't have enough information or anything. So, but I know Treaton. I at least know the name. I've never had the opportunity to visit it, but
Nice place.
Oh, yes.
sorry. I'll keep my eyes and ears out though for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Did anyone else have information they wanted to give me? Or are we ending this little section here?
Alia might, or at least might be able to point you into a direction of where you could learn more.
Okay.
What are you thinking, Alia?
So would Alia have read anything like this in the library?
Sorry.
So, and it's fairly common knowledge, especially to you, Alia, that a lot of the reports that come into the Vigils are are recorded, as that's very important information. You can find patterns by seeing what's happened and what Vigils have been sent to try to figure out. A lot of the times there's missions where you go and you look for something and you aren't really able to find a lot. But looking at the reports of old Vigils might help start you down a path of at least seeing maybe a pattern, seeing maybe more of the description. So that might be some of the things that you know. A lot of those resources are contained within the library.
So yeah, Alia would probably just recommend you to go study and go search for that kind of stuff in the library.
I'm just trying to think if Pinky has the patience for that.
That's also a very good question.
Pinky, I can look it up next time I am in the library.
I was gonna say I can if you give me time, I might be able to study it as well, or for it as well.
Well, that would be great. Thank you, guys. I'll keep questioning people. And she'll kind of tap her fingers together, look a little bit mischievous.
I love that. All right. Pinky, is there anything else that you'd like to accomplish during your downtime? Like any shopping that you'd like to do or anything else like that?
Sorry, just trying to think. I mean, of course, she would stock up on all her, hobby party stuff. I don't know.
How much gold would you spend on party?
Probably not too much, because she likes to make it herself. So she'd probably buy more thread, maybe another needle, stuff to make cupcakes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably only at most a gold then.
Yeah.
So, okay. I just figured I'd ask, how much money's going to prep. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we'll probably switch to.
She would also actually, she really liked the chalk, and so she's gonna buy a pink-colored chalk.
All right. Let me
I don't
look.
know how much it's gonna cost her, but
Or two, I think it's 2 silver pieces.
Yeah, it's
or copper
not-
pieces. It's not.
It's not crazy expensive. Let me just get that looked up for you, and we can. Chalk for 1 piece is 1 copper piece, so it's very, very cheap. So if you want to have 10, you could use. If you want to have 100, you could use 1 gold piece to buy 100 sticks of chalk.
That's so much.
Go with 10. So that's 1 silver piece, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
I can pick them.
Okay.
Is the floor open to anyone?
All right. I think the floor is open to anyone. We got Pinky done. So Joy, whenever you need to go, you're good. Hopefully you can stay as long as you can. Who would like to go next? Barren?
I can go next. I have a few group things that people can join me on. I want to go to the Archanium at one point, and I need to go to the near the where is it?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Near the inn,
The Earth and Fire Inn.
somewhere near there. So, those are for sure 2 things. I have some other things I want to do, but those are kind of some of the bigger things right now. So, if anyone wants to join me on those, it's open invitation.
So I'm also thinking if you wanted to role play Pinky shopping, Adelaide will probably go shopping too.
Yeah.
So if
At some point, I would go shopping as well.
Yeah. We can definitely do a little bit of a shopping spree.
I like it.
Well, we can make that part of this as well. So, and if anyone else wants to shop it, like do it later, that's not bad. Not like a big deal.
But wherever.
Yeah. What?
Those are some things I want to do. If you want me to talk about like what I would do as far as like downtime for the thing, I have one thing I want to do.
Sure.
Well, I don't know what you want me to start with, but those are some of the things.
Just start with whatever you want. I'm here at your leisure.
You hear my leisure?
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready with
Group
anything.
stuff first, because the other stuff is something really small. So
Okay.
I'd rather have people that want to join on the group. So I'll go to the Arcanium first. So
This will be the second time you've gone to the Arcanium.
it will be.
Who else would like to join Barren?
Is
No, that's the.
It's next to it's right next to the library.
Moss would join Baron this time.
I'll
So
go.
What is it?
The Arcanium.
Yeah.
I think-
What is the Arcanium?
It's where we dropped off our stone.
The black monolith.
The
Oh,
black monolith.
Okay. Thank you. I guess I don't know. Pinky's gonna go wherever the group goes. And just question everybody along the way.
Philip, are you gonna try to do?
Yeah, I just want to listen in.
Sorry about that.
We have a
Pinky.
tiny baby.
Yeah, we were just getting that sorted out. So Opal, Pinky, Moss, and Barren.
Yes.
Adelaide, are you joining? Or Alia?
Yeah, Alia will join.
Now, let's just have everyone go.
I'll just go to the Arcanium.
So I'd imagine this was probably about 3-ish. Maybe it could even be the next day, as Opal and the man talked about. This is just kind of part of that. As you all kind of return to kind of see what's what. As you enter in, a little bit earlier in the day this time, you see what looks to be some of those figures that Pinky had seen behind that curtain off room. They're actually out doing work. You can hear the sounds of gears whirring and sparks flying as something's being cut, some sort of metal. Every so often you kind of hear the low thudding of some sort of mallet in the corner. Most of the people in here, you can tell, you are dwarven, some are gnomish descent. You recognize the one more wiry guy that really didn't get along well with Opal last time. I don't know if his name ever came up, but they're all kind of more or less doing just kind of menial tasks. 2 of them you can see kind of not too far away from the entrance. As you guys are starting to enter, they're like, "Yeah, last night's battle was so sick. Like, it was just so crazy when like the troll came out from underneath the water and like grabbed us off the boat. It was like crazy." And then they see you walking, you're like, "Ah," and then they just kind of stop and like look at you side-eyed, and then they just kind of like start with more hushed tones.
Troll, huh?
Yeah.
Just
He's
fire?
gonna smile knowingly.
We did.
Good.
It was hard though. He's in the water.
Sounds like a problem.
Yeah. It was. Okay, bye. As they both kind of like awkwardly walk up. Brandon!
Hi.
We're all at the Archanium.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm there.
Nice. Go ahead.
Hey, who's in charge here?
The original wiry man that came coming out of the room kind of walks up. He's like, "Oh, I remember you." And what was his name? He was like, kind of like that. "Oh, I remember you guys. You guys are."
Wait, what the heck is that?
That's Story.
Oh, story.
You guys, back here for your Black Rock thing?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that here in a second. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, you said you were not. So why are you here then? If you're not here for the big Black Rock thing?
I was told that you guys make stuff here.
We dabble for sure. Make things.
Okay. Think you can make me something?
Definitely. We can probably come up with some sort of contraption or some sort of magically enhanced modus operandi. Looking for something to make you a little bit more charming for the ladies. You're looking to be able to hit harder with having better strength. Looking to be able to fly. I don't know.
No,
All
none of
right,
those.
good, because those ones are expensive. Just warn you. And as he turns to the rest of the party, just warn you.
I'm looking for something that, I like to move around when I'm fighting my enemies, and so honestly, I'd rather not leave myself exposed while I'm moving around. So I don't know if you got anything that can help out with that. I was thinking about putting mirrors on my boots, maybe, so I could see behind me. But I don't think that would be very efficient. So
I mean, it'd be kind of cool though. Some mirrory. We could definitely make mirror boots.
no,
That's definitely a possibility. If that's what you want.
no.
I don't think that would help with what you're talking about.
I don't know if they got something down in the store downstairs, but I figured I'd check here because you guys are.
So the store, some of their items come from us for sure. Some more general items that we make. Some of it's things that we find on missions that we're able to, figure out if it's, not going to make you turn evil and start devouring the souls of people. Once we figure that out, and it seems like not too bad of a thing, sometimes we, sell it back to Vigils if they give it to us. Sometimes we're able to remove curses like that. So honestly, sometimes they just have their own things. I don't know where this Miriam gets her stuff. I ain't asking, if you catch my drift, as he gives you a wink. But what I can tell you is we could probably work something. And you hear one of the other dwarves that were talking about the troll fight, not too far away. He whispers to the other, "Oh, he's looking to remove, have disadvantage on opportunity attacks against him," as he's referencing the game mechanic of whatever they do behind that curtain. Yeah, we could probably look into something like that.
Got a cost estimate?
Usually it's more of a we have to try to work towards it and then tell you how much it is. I'd assume right now, just as a just throwing out their price, not making any promises. Probably around 500 to 1,000 gold pieces for this.
All right.
If you want just the ability to make it a little harder for people to hit you while you're moving around them, or if you want to be a little weaker in some of those magic regards, we could probably get it a little bit cheaper, but it may have some other things that come along with it, as you kind of side glances to his last comment.
Well, you see what you can do, and time frame.
Pretty busy here. You can see we have lots of stuff to do.
Really? Because I seem to remember that.
Hey! What stays in the Archanium never leaves. So, I'll tell you this. Give me probably like 2 weeks. Probably work something out.
All right.
May not be the strongest thing, but sound like you're a little against that high of a price, so I might be able to get something a little bit cheaper.
I can do the price. Just let me know when it's done.
Okay, fair enough. Anyone else here want something? Add to our list of things to do? Okay. All right. We will, since Opal had to step away. Oh, she's back. Opal, would you like to right now do your thing with talking with this guy, or would you like to wait till later?
I can do it now.
All right, Little Miss Sunshine. Let's have a good old talk. I guess we can. You all found the thing, so don't feel bad for coming along. But we've gotten our extra dimensional space set up. We're ready to start, poking the thing, as some of the people say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Address. Oh, well.
Don't worry. It's very, very scientific on how we do everything here.
Okay.
Do you have any questions thus far? Like, we have started running some minor tests. It's going to be a long process, but I can give you some general things off of that. As he kind of leads you towards a back door. And at the door, you can see what looks to be like a set of 5 levers. And he pulls them all in kind of a specific pattern. And in front of you opens up as he gets done pulling the pattern. It opens up to basically a blank walled room with a simple table in the middle. And sitting on the table is the monolith.
Can I do I would like to try and memorize the order that he pulled the levers.
Yeah, do a perception check.
20.
Good.
Do a random dice generator.
Go into your phone and say, "Hey Siri." Roll.
Can I do?
If she's on the Discord.
Oh yeah.
Someone else can do it.
Do you want me to roll for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being perfectly honest. I promise.
I'm watching him.
I rolled a 7.
I didn't see that.
You should be rolling my That one don't count. And whose dice are those? Those are not your dice.
Well, I didn't grab any of the stuff because I walked. I didn't grab
You
much, so I don't have any of our D&D stuff with us.
That one's cursed.
Yeah. So, I think you have proficiency in it, as well as like a +1
Well, what is it in?
perception.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Or I'm I'm at persuasion, not perception.
okay. Well, then it'd probably be just an 8 or a 9 with just your base modifier for wisdom.
Lower than 10.
So
Yucky.
with that, his movements are too fast for you to be able to kind of determine what the sort of pattern it was. You remember like the first one? It was like the third one over, like the middle one. But after that, it's like
Gets a little foggy.
Yeah.
Okay. I would attempt and then start to get a little woozy, seeing him pull all the levers, so that I just shake my head and like, okay, whatever. I tried.
So, who's all entering the room?
I'll do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Going.
Us.
I'll go if I can. If it's
Yeah.
allowed.
Going.
Everyone's going into the room. Perfect. That's what we'd like to hear. As you all enter into the room, that familiar, maybe it's because you've been a couple of days away from this org, but kind of that familiar coldness, just similar to the touch of those shadows, permeates around in the room, as it almost feels like it itself, this item, is partially draining your strength. Maybe it's just your imagination. You're not sure. As the man who you still haven't asked what his name is, just the Archanium guy, walks up to the table, he grabs what looks to be some sort of parchment that's been rolled up, and he says, thus far what we've been able to determine about this is it's basically some sort of bank, if that makes sense. Like a repository.
Do you think it's a repository for power, strength, energy, like that?
I think very much so, as that is just doing our detection magic upon this. It almost oozes, you could say, in some sort of energy. It's really interesting, is it seems to almost want to bind itself to things. From what we've seen in our tests, a lot of times, like I said, repositories like this are more focused on bringing power and containing it. This seems to more be looking for something. Not sure what.
Okay. Do you think you'd be able to sort where the power is going to?
I'm pretty sure it's still contained here. Like everything that's here is what you see. But
Well, yes. Yes. What I was meaning was, do you think the thing, whatever the word is wanting to get this energy to give it to another? Like, do you can tell there's a connection going somewhere? Nothing like that?
honestly, it's a little too early to tell. From what we can tell, if it was trying to send something here in this extra dimensional plane, something you should know is most magics don't allow you to transverse. Most magics don't transverse planes. This is why when
No.
This is why when someone, dies, they're not on this plane anymore. They go to usually either a higher plane or a lower plane, depending on kind of the disposition of the person sometimes, depending on if they somehow, intertwined their soul previously with some sort of plane. That usually means that's where they'll end up. Magic, in a sense, usually stays localized to a plane, especially our plane, as it's more of a base. I don't know. Is this going over your head? Sorry if it is. But basically what I'm trying to say is, while this is in its own little bubble, it shouldn't be able to connect to anything, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yeah, what you said was making sense. Okay.
Anyway, that's basically all we got.
Is there... So would you say we have addressed that as a way to store power? Do you think it may be a type of container to, as it wants more power, to contain that power as like a container?
Look, lady, I'll be honest. You only gave me one day to look at it. I have a lot of other things going on, so I don't know everything yet. From what I can tell right now is that it's not, while it is still a container, it's not trying to suck in power. It's trying to find something to connect it to. And it hasn't yet. So that's all I got for you.
Got it. Okay. Sorry to put pressure on you. I understand it's a stressful environment. You have a lot of orders. I understand. That's bad. And be a Karen sometimes when it, involves the world ending and all that. It's just hard. Stress is on both ends. One last question, and I'll leave you to it. How about that?
Okay.
Can it be destroyed?
At this, he kind of rubs his hands together and kind of squints a little well, maybe. From what we can tell right now, I guess a way to look at it is, say you have a huge burning fire. That's a lot of energy coming off of it, right? It took a lot to get it to go. If you're going to kill that fire, you either have to put it in a vacuum, so that way it has no way to continue feeding itself, or you have to put in just as much power to kill it.
Makes sense.
Think about this. If you have a fire, one of the quickest ways to put out a fire is by building a bigger fire right next to it. It sucks away all the oxygen from the first one, putting it out. So if you try and destroy this thing, you might. But you might cause other problems along the way, too.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Anyone else have any questions?
I was going to ask, what are they currently working on?
On the back.
Yeah.
You see that it looks to be like there's a model of some sort of wagon, but you don't see any connections for a horse. If that makes sense. It's not like a big model, but you can definitely tell it looks like a cart.
Mm-hmm.
But they've removed things that, and you can see what looks to be back in where carts usually hold things. There seems to be some sort of massive gears and different mechanical objects, and you're not able to quite tell what it is. You can also see that there's another guy that's in the corner sewing together some sort of cloak. It's hard to tell what it is, but it looks like the patterns on it are like when you see the material, it shifts from like a pearlescent black to a pearlescent white.
It's the dress, the blue gold dress.
Yeah, it's like Laurel or Yanni. You don't know which one it is. Yeah, you look at it and you tell yourself it's white, and it becomes white, and then if you tell yourself it's black, it becomes black. It's pretty crazy.
How do you get people to test your things? Like, how do you know that they're gonna work?
We pride ourselves on our own testing. We usually do some things to it, make sure it's going to work. A lot of the enchantments that we've done prior, so it's less about like making sure it's going to work, but just kind of making sure that it's done properly the way that we've already figured out how to do it. A lot of our work is research, figuring out how to either create or replicate different various components of a magical item that you may want. But a lot of it too is just, the crafting of simple magic items.
Well, if I knew about crafting simple magic items, I wouldn't be coming to you.
Well, that's why we know, so that way you can come to us. It's definitely not simple to you. It would definitely not be a simple magic item. It would be probably too big for you to handle. But to us, it's simple.
What's your name again?
My name is
Gerlund.
You didn't even make a name.
Yeah, I didn't. He's no name. Moen. That's not a bad name. No, I was actually thinking something along the lines of like Zacharias.
Carrot.
His name is Zacharias the Emboldened.
Carrot.
Is that?
Huh?
Joy, did you say something?
Oh, you can't hear me?
We can now. Say what you said.
Okay. I said, can I call you Zach? Zach? Zachary?
Maybe not while I'm working.
Oh.
Can I call you Carrot?
Definitely not. I still don't like you, so no.
Carrot.
Okay. All right. Anyways. But yeah, that's my name.
Okay. Let me know when you got that thing done.
No worries. We'll start working on it.
I'm gonna head out.
Good old Zacharias the Emboldened. A little bit
I'll have to ask about the Emboldened later.
too high and mighty for his own britches,
That
but
seems a little like he made that own title for himself.
Do you think he's waiting for something?
Most definitely. Hey, I'm heading off to the fire something, or near the fire something, and I don't know. I know it's somewhere in that direction.
have fun. A part of the Earth and Fire Inn?
Yeah, I gotta head that way. So I don't know what the rest of you are doing, but I'm going that way. So. I'm gonna start going that way.
Okay. All right. You go that way. You walk that way. Who else is coming along?
She's got nothing better to do. It sounds fun, so she's heading up. She's going.
All right.
Where are we going?
Barren's going to go to an inn. You don't have to come if you don't want to. He
I'm
didn't
going.
explain.
I want to go to a library.
You're gonna go to the library? Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll come back to your library thing later.
Is anyone else splitting up?
I am.
You're at the or Adelaide said she's at the library as well. I'm going to the library.
Adelaide's going to the library. Alia, were you going to go with Barren? Is that what you're
No.
saying? No. You're not.
No, Alia is probably heading home.
Okay, perfect. Moss?
Moss is gonna. He's probably gonna go to the library.
Go to the library. And Ren?
Probably just go home as well.
You're good.
So now, Pinky, who do you want to go with? There's lots of options now.
Well, most is going to the library, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to Pinky.
Books.
I mean, she likes, fantasy novels, but like they're going for like research. That's what she's assuming. Doesn't sound like fun. So
We can have
she's
fantasy
going
novels.
with you, Baron.
All
I
right.
have a question. Would a fantasy novel just be a realistic fiction novel in D&D?
Okay,
Maybe
I do have to
Our
say
world is the fantasy novel.
People
hey,
just
there is a book like this. It's called something in homerooms. Anyways, but it's about these adventurers that it's like a young adult, not a young adult. It's like a juvenile fiction. Anyways, but it's about this group of teenage adventurers who, in their spare time, come back to their little space and they play hall passes in homerooms. That's what it's called. And basically, they're in this school and they have to like pass tests and things, and they're transported into this homeroom and hall passes into their games. They're transported into the real world and they have to deal with. Anyways, sorry, tangent there, but there is a book out there just like that.
Like an isekai, but backwards.
McKay.
What is it called? Or you want to know what it's called? And yes, Faith.
Can you tell me what cookies you want?
Let me see.
You just want me to
Let
come
me
close
try
to
to
the
get
camera
the-
so the audience can see my nasty mustache.
Go off.
Is that chocolate chips? M&M's. Okay. Chocolate chip again. Okay. And pumpkin. Okay.
I'm voting the pumpkin.
This one's
I
snickerdoodle.
had one of the pumpkins already. They were a little bit dry. I like mine a little moist.
I vote either the snickerdoodle or the chocolate chip.
They're still really good. To be honest.
Corey, what one do you want? Snickerdoodle, chocolate chip. She loves both those options too. So one of each, and then me and Corey can share.
Okay. Are you ready, McKay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. As you and Pinky head down from this level, as you see most of your patriots either go into the library or head back to the rooms. You and Pinky, as well as Alia, all head out of the lighthouse, though Alia, as soon as you exit, she turns down a different road and waves goodbye to you.
Where are you going, Alia?
I have some conversations I gotta go have with some people.
I guess have fun. That doesn't sound fun.
Oh yeah, it might be.
I'll see you later.
All right, I'll see you guys later tonight.
As you guys turn and start heading towards the Earth and Fire Inn, not too far away, but still fairly all right distance. Considered to be just kind of on the outskirts of the upper swells, kind of in the midpoint between around the lighthouse and that area of the Ocho. Sits a two-story building made out of cobbled together rough-hewn stone and a large thatch roof. You can see The second layer of it is made of wood that has been plastered over, showing that typical white bleached look among the timber and rough cut wood for the siding. You see a small sign in front of the inn of what looks to be a large boulder that is completely on fire, and it says "Earth and Fire Inn" underneath it.
I'm gonna move past the sign because I don't recognize it, and I'm gonna look for. It was too dark, so I'm gonna look for whatever little stable that I remember.
So, looking around, you
Looking
decide
for
to try
whatever building has this.
You go around the back, trying to hopefully find something in the stables. You walk down like a block. You hit like some of the back passages. You walk back and you find that same stable, and you realize that the Earth and Fire Inn is the exact same building that you met your sister. You just went to the back side of it.
Okay. I will go ahead and head in.
I'm assuming you went back to the front to go in, or are you going to like go to their kitchen
Middle of
door?
the day.
Oh, honey, I'm home.
No, I'll go back towards the front, and just before I'll go in, I'll kind of like make sure I'm like brushing off any dirt, like just making sure I'm clean.
Pinky, you would notice Barren kind of strain up his collar, strain up his jacket, and you would also recognize this place too as the place that he met his sister back during his training.
Right. Before we go in, Pinky's gonna lean over, see him straightening, and she's gonna say, "Oh, don't worry, you look great."
Make a check to see how great you do.
I would also say that did we say this is the next day? Like this is like the second day that we've only been here, right? Because he would have done this really early on.
Sure. It doesn't matter when this happened, whether all this was the second day anyways, because that's when you guys went back to check on the thing.
Great. What am I rolling?
You are rolling just like a general 4 check.
I got a 4.
It looks like you look like Barren. You're definitely keeping yourself more clean shaven than you used to. But you're definitely not like the.
There's mostly one thing that I'm worried about. I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
So.
I get that. Do you feel like you've been able to?
I feel like he would have done whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. You're still a little bit nervous going into this conversation with a 4. You feel like you've done all the prep that you could, but it's still hard. As you enter into the Earth and Fire Inn, the smell of warm baking pastries wafts in from somewhere down a hall as this small kind of antechamber that leads with a stairway up to the upper floor, as well as different hallways leading out, contains a small desk with what you can see is an older looking earth genasi, her skin looking to be formed out of rough-hewn stone, giving her features more of an angular appearance and more of like in some places, bulky, though you can tell probably in her younger age she was not unfair looking. With time and age, the rocks have started to slide a little bit, and so she's a little bit more. She's older, a little bit of moss covered. She will see you come in. It's like, what's your fur?
Are you Hazel?
That I be?
I'm looking for Elise.
Oh, Elise. Now, Who might you be, if I might be asking?
You can just tell her Barren's looking for her.
Oh, Barren, I've definitely heard about you. Of course, let me go and see where she's at. She's going to sit up from behind the desk, walk down the hallway on this first floor, and says, "Elise, Elise, Elise." You'll hear it in the distance. What? Like, you have a visitor. Visitor? Oh, okay. Not too long later, Hazel returns. Your sister right behind her. As soon as she turns the corner and sees you, her purple eyes light up, looking at you. Barren, you're back.
Are you gonna give me a hug or what?
Yeah. She'll rush in and give you a big hug. It kind of surprises you how big she's gotten as she hugs you. She's not quite the little girl that she used to be.
How have you been?
Barren, it's so good to see you. As she's still her face in your chest, embracing you. I've been doing really good. Hazel and Martin, they treat me really good. Just helping around with whatever I can.
They have you working?
Yeah, I help them with their tasks. They used to be Vigils, like you are now. They got a little older, and from what I can gather, as Hazel, seeing the reunion, has kind of stepped away, kind of back to her own business. She leans in and says, "From what I can tell, they weren't able to have kids, and so they take care of Vigils kids when Vigils are gone on missions or gone on important meetings, and so I help with that. Just making sure the kids get fed, they're getting tucked in, and it's not like they have me slaving away, but it gives me something to do for the days."
Well, that's good, I guess.
Thank you.
I got you some things.
Oh yeah? Any books?
Yeah, I got you some books.
Yes. As she seems really excited. Pinky, you can see again with the same light that she had for when Barren walked in. She has the same light in her eyes for the mention of books.
And I will pull out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things.
Oh yeah. As you're pulling them out, because I'm assuming you're kind of like placing them down, and she's like, I imagine her not like, it's just kind of a game to her, like she doesn't want to look at it until it's all out.
Yeah.
She's just making a little bit of idle conversation. You know, that last book that you gave me, it was kind of interesting. I didn't expect it to be that easy to bring the undead back to life.
Oh?
Yeah, it was. I promise I haven't done anything with it, but it was really, a really good informational book, and surprisingly enough, there's a lot of puns in it. It was really strange.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it's keeping you entertained. So
I'm already done with it. I've been done with it for like almost a month now.
Oh, well, I forget how fast you read.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I read it 2 times, so it's good and sunken, you could say.
Yeah. Well, here's this one. Toss it to you, and or like she can, hand it, whatever.
Yeah.
Forgotten Key. Don't really know what it's about. Just saw it.
Forgotten Key?
Yeah. That's what the title says.
Okay. Do you remember anything about this book?
It's I didn't ever open it up, but it is the one that you said was the rom-com, or like it was the like young adult novel.
Yeah, it's a
something.
YA novel.
The YA novel or something like that.
Broken Key.
Forgotten Key.
Forgotten Key. She looks through it, kind of like skimming through the pages. Looks like it'll be a quick read, but not too bad. She puts it into a large satchel at her side.
Here's this, and I'll show her the art of Havnock, the old art.
Yeah, the
I'll
old
give
art of
that
it
to her.
dying. She'll put it in her hands and like study it. It's like, Barren, where'd you get this? This is beautiful.
Nah, we found it.
Oh, wow. That was a very good find.
I mean, I don't have any use for it, so
It looks like it was torn out of a book.
don't worry about it. Here's this one. I'll hand her the History of Havnock book.
Oh, wow.
I can't read it. I don't know how you're gonna read it, but I know you like books, so.
As she opens up this old ancient tome detailing the fall on the other side for the Ryuli, she like skims through and is like, maybe I could figure something out. As she kind of sheepishly looks like around, and then she puts it in her satchel as well.
And then here's this, and I'm gonna give her a key.
Oh,
It goes to our living quarters over in the lighthouse. I had the main wizard guy. I asked him to build you a little reading nook. So if they ever let you out of this place, you can head over there, and you got a spot.
you made a reading nook for me in your room?
Yeah, don't get sappy about it.
Well, I won't, but I still appreciate it. You're a good older brother.
Yeah, well,
But are you going to use the reading nook at all yourself?
I'm sure I'll find plenty of uses for it.
Okay. I just don't want to make sure. I don't want to take away from your space. For me, it's not necessarily where I'm reading, but what I'm reading. So.
I'm here, and I'll take that off my pouch, and I'll give her there's a small little pouch on my belt that I'll just clip off real quick and just hand it to her.
She shakes it, and she can hear something tinkling with it. Open up. Oh, wow.
There's 20 gold in there.
20 gold pieces.
You can use that to buy more books or a new dress or whatever you like, Adam.
I'm going to actually see what she can buy. She might have something that she wants. I don't think...
Just don't spend it all in one place.
I might, depending on what I can get with it. But I promise to spend it on good things. I don't intend to spend it on, bad things.
Hope not. Well, it seems like we're in town for the next little while, so I'll probably be hanging out around you for the next little bit, and if you need help with any of your chores, I'll do them for you.
Then you're busy. You gotta practice and I don't know, do vigil things.
Yeah.
What even is it like? What's it like being a vigil? Does it remind you of Grandpa?
Yeah. At least some of the stories I told. But, I don't know, Pinky. What do you think? Oh, Pinky's gone. I forgot that she's
wide-eyed.
left.
She fell asleep.
I mean, it's a job.
Fair. Okay. Well, as long as you're doing what you love, that's what matters. I read that in a book once, at least. It sounded pretty smart.
Yeah. I'm just here. So.
Now, I have a question for you.
What is it?
If you ever come across, something that maybe next time you're out adventuring I could use, I'd really appreciate if you could find me a really nice quill. I think I might start writing soon.
Quill?
Cool, and maybe ink.
All right. That's something I can add to my list.
I might be able to buy stuff with this one, but there's something that I'm trying to save up for, and so it's not a rush. I got time.
I'm sure I'll come across something. I'll find a way to get it to you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Not to put too much more on your plate. They give me a little bit of a pay here with doing this.
Oh, so you're saying that I can take that back?
No. It's just enough to, cover if I want, get something.
Sure. So I don't think that this will be the last time I give you something.
Well, I'm hoping to give you stuff soon, but we'll see. Anyways, enough of that. Secrets. It's mine to not tell.
We're both good at that, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
well,
here, let me grab that broom.
There, and
I'll
as
grab the
she
broom from her,
chides you, and
I will help out in the inn. Okay.
With that, as you start helping out, I know you had one other thing that you would like to do. Would it be all right if we switch over to
Yeah, of course.
library?
Yeah, the other thing's super small, so yeah. Do everyone else. It's not.
Sounds good. All right. For those who adventure to the library,
I'll switch it, Tori. Since you want to do the library stuff, I can chill.
I don't know. Opal, are you in a place that you would be able to play? Or actually, we might wait to do the library until Opal can get here. I think she's on her way.
What are you doing?
Let's do Alia next. Alia, as you walk away from Barren and Pinky, as they're heading along their path out, where do you go?
Alia heads home.
Home.
But not the Vigil home. She heads to home.
Home.
I think Alia's like, I'm going home, and Ren's like, yeah, me too. And then they go different ways, and Ren's like,
Like
okay.
what?
Like, oh yeah, I forgot that she lives here.
That's pretty funny. It's just kind of like when you go down the stairs and you're like waiting to, like, you're getting off at that stairway to like walk, like the passageway across to walk to like your actual door. You're like, Alia, it's this. Oh wait.
Or like I follow Alia, being like what? Where is she going? And then I just have to like kind of fall behind a little bit and be like.
I imagine like you get like almost all the way to like the property of her actual house. Like it's like a mile walk away from the lighthouse tower, and you're like, where are we going? And you're just like a little out of it, but then you like realize, oh wait.
Alia and Alia would be so focused, but she would have no idea you were there.
But it's like, when you're like going to like a class or something, and you like go the wrong way, and then you have to like act like you got a text or something, and so you like hurry the other way, even though nobody's watching, but like you have to like play it off. Yeah, Ren like he like trails behind and then has to like, oh yes, like then just goes back.
I left the burner on at home. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no.
I love that. That's awesome. All right, Alia, as you eventually make your walk down to your house, you pass through the terraced fields of Oshto. Each layer or each level of these terraces supporting a different type of vegetable or grain. The splash of colors, the yellows, the greens, even reds, pinks, purples, all come alive. Hear the sounds of birds chirping, bees buzzing. It's quite a beautiful and serene walk. especially once you've left the cobbled streets of the lighthouse and the area around it, and hit more of these earthen paths that lead to more of the estates on the outside. Eventually, you, in the distance, can hear the telltale sound of a bamboo shoot knocking against a stone as the slowly fills out, knocks, and then turns back up. And adding to the serene peace that you feel is the visage of your childhood home, the place that you grew up, the place that you know the best. It's been your sanctuary all the time ever since you grew up, and there's only been 2 instances that you've ever left and slept outside of its walls. As you make your way up to the door, is there any sort of thoughts or anything else that's really impressing upon Alia at this moment?
Oh, I think Alia is terrified right now. She's scared of, I guess, the conversation to come, because the last time I know her and Mom talked, it wasn't the greatest of conversations. And so she's probably replaying that last conversation through her head. As she's walking out the door to get on the chariot to head to her exam, her entrance exam. Would have been the last time really her mother and her would have talked. And so
It's almost a little unsettling how much has not changed, but also comforting in a way, as you hope that the way that conversation before you left and before you found out that your mother had made your challenge harder, you hope that deep down somewhere this conversation can be as supportive as you remember the last one being. Not the one over the standing stone, but the one in person. Eventually you knock on the front entrance. Actually, I don't even know if there is there a front door, or is it more of like a gateway into the complex?
into the complex itself?
Yeah, like I always imagined like it has like that interior courtyard,
Yeah.
and then like kind of like different kind of pathways that lead to different spots on like in the house, different
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. So it would be probably more of a door,
Okay.
like leading into like a canopy, like a covered area where your pathways would have started, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Do you knock on the door, or do you just enter, as this is your home?
She would probably just enter.
As you enter in, the serene scene of the courtyard shows itself to you, with the many different doorways and the pathways that lead to them are before you. Where do you go?
I imagine she would still have her house slippers right there. So she would take off her shoes, she would put on her house slippers. And I think the first place she would go would be the kitchen, because I imagine it's, what time is it right now?
I'd say it's probably like, I was thinking 2-ish, 2 o'clock.
2. So yeah, she would probably head to the kitchen, knowing her mom is probably in some type of meeting, or dealing with something with having to deal with work, and just start to prepare a meal.
Okay. As you get to work in the most familiar kitchen to you, everything that you used still there, placed the exactly same way that you've always had it. Not too long later, I'd like you to do a perception check for me.
Perception. 13.
13. As you listen in, you hear the creak of the door behind you. And as you look over, you'd see Brathis, one of the family servants, holding a small wand and pointing it towards you like he was worried that someone has broken into the house. As soon as he sees you and makes the visual contact, he's like, "Is that Alia?" And he just dropped the wand. Oh,
Hi, Brad.
that's I didn't know they were back. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wanted to point that thing at you. My bad.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're doing your job. I appreciate it.
Of course. Can I help you? I didn't know that you'd be back so soon. I heard that as soon as you finished your trial and your training, they sent you on a mission. Is there anything I can get you? Some water? Maybe anything?
No, I'm okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you know when my mom is supposed to be back tonight?
I think she's in her study right now. I'm not sure. She said to give herself maybe an hour. I think she's working on something. She said that she would open her door when she was ready for visitors. So.
Okay. Can I just have you do me a favor? Can you not tell her I'm here?
Oh, you want me to keep it on the
Yeah, I just.
down low?
Yeah, I'm gonna make her some miso soup, and I'm gonna bring it up to her when it's done. It should be done in about an hour.
Okay. I will make sure that your secret stays in the kitchen.
Thank you. And if you do keep the secret, there's always miso soup for you.
Well, then I will not complain. Just if you want to leave the pot here, I'll make sure that I can find the serving for me.
For sure thing, Brad.
Thanks. Thank you again, Master Alia. Again, if you need any help, just let me know.
I appreciate it. I'll see you here in a little bit.
Yeah. As he goes to exit, he turns back and says, "Do you have business with your mother, or are you just catching up?" As he kind of just asks nonchalantly.
Just catching up. Just here to see my mom. Just here to see my mom. That's all.
Good. I think that will make her quite happy. Notice that she seems to be a little bit down lately. So hopefully that can help her.
I hope so.
Anyways, I'll leave you to it. As he
you.
exits the room. As you prepare the soup, the hour passes away quite quickly. Doesn't take much entertaining yourself as you get into the steady rhythm of preparing the broth, making sure that all the different additives are prepared. I show how good I am at describing miso soup. I do know I like miso soup, but I'm not the best. I know it has like seaweed, something in it, as well as like I think tofu balls. It's all as far as I go.
Yeah,
With my
no,
knowledge
it
on it.
can. So.
But it's quite delectable. I will say that. Actually, I would like you to do a check on this to see, like, with your nerves, with everything that's kind of at stake, how well you're able to prepare one of your mother's favorite dishes.
Okay. Just give me una segundo.
It's a long second.
I know.
Sorry, my mouse just died, and so I had no charger. What do you want me to roll?
Roll a cooking check. Let's do a survival cooking check. If you're proficient with cooking utensils, you can do the roll with advantage.
All right, I got a 15.
15. It's very good. It's just a solid dish.
Sweet.
Yeah. Nothing. It's not like you didn't get really flowery with it, but you definitely make sure that the most important part is the flavor, which is something that your mother enjoys in her food. She's not very much of a person that wants it to be all presentation but no flavor. What really matters is the meat, the actual sustenance.
Yeah, so Alia's gonna head up. She's going to try and sneak into her mom's study.
Okay, roll stealth check.
An unnatural 20.
You are pretty sneaky, like quite, I would say. As you head upstairs and head over to the room which houses your mother's study, you see that the door has been cracked open at this point. And as you kind of walk up and peer in, you can see that your mother is seeing Mira with her eyes down. She looks like she is looking into a book and writing notes out of it. So every so often looking back over to what she's read and then finding another part that she wants to make note of, and she writes that down as well.
So yeah, as she's doing this, Alia walks in, opens the door, walks in, still trying to be all sneakily doing it. She will set like the soup down next to her mom without trying to disturb her. So like her just being focused on her book, just like kind of like setting it down next to her, discreetly, I guess.
Yeah, I think
kind of it was like Brathis, like if Brathis delivering, the soup and trying not to disturb her.
Yeah, I think that's very akin. As you walk in, and as you sit down, she glances over and says, "Yeah, there's fine. Thank you." And then she smells it and goes, "Wait." And she looks over at the soup, sees what it is, and getting the aroma of it, the telltale sign of her daughter's cooking. She'll look up into your eyes. As soon as she looks up, she realizes who you are. Alia.
Hi, Mom.
As soon as she realizes, like, there, she'll place the quill with the tip out of the book that she's reading from, and close the book with her notes inside the place that she was at. Have quickly and sets it to the side. After that, she pushing it to the side. She's gonna stand up, walk around the desk, and give you a hug.
You would return the hug.
She,
How have you been?
I've been better times previous, but good enough to make sure that things keep running smoothly.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you're doing okay.
Yeah. Now, I read the report on your mission to have knocked it. It sounded like it was, and she'll kind of half smirk, but you can see that there's just a little bit, maybe like just for a second, a twinge of sadness. Sounds like it was quite an adventure.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. Yeah.
How was it? Tell me about it. I'd love to hear from a first-hand account of what happened.
It was hard. It was a lot harder than the stories make it sound. I don't know if, just stories you hear in the halls. It was a good learning experience, I would say. I definitely have issues I have to sort out, but I don't know.
Issues?
Yeah. And she would kind of just sit down and just... I don't know, Mom. Part of me thinks you were right in maybe me not being strong enough to do this and actually be a vigil. Every time we get into a fight, I freeze up with memories of Dad. And I have some companions who are determined to watch me succeed, and I have other companions who think I should leave before I get myself and or others killed by my, I guess, freeze-ups. So I don't know. I'm a little stuck on what to do at the moment.
As you tell her this, she slowly nods. I honestly, my biggest fear wasn't that you wouldn't be strong enough. I never had that fear with your father. He always seemed strong. But there's things out there that we can't control. That will just that will take us away from one another.
Oh,
And break us. I haven't apologized. And I feel like I owe you one. I apologize for meddling in your test. That was uncalled for. That was not fair to you or to the people that you were with. But these were things that I wanted to do because I honestly just want to protect you. I don't want to lose you.
and I too owe you an apology. I should have known that that's where those actions had come from, and I should have known that you only do what you do because you care about who I am and what becomes of me and what I become.
I've told you all your life that being an active vigil is not always the greatest way to help out. But I will preface that as most of the time I told you that out of my own fear. Not the fear that you wouldn't be a good vigil. And she'll grab your hand now and she'll look deeply into your eyes. Alia, I believe that you have the potential to be a great vigil. But my only question is at what cost? What will you lose to become one?
And to be honest, I don't know. I can't say I'm terrified of being the cause of my own loss or the loss of others. But at the same time, I understand that to grow, you have to have those hard times and those hard moments. Otherwise, you stay the same. I mean, I went out on this mission and I saw the way that other people live and how they've grown up, and it seems almost unfair to keep it to myself. I don't know if that makes sense, but It doesn't make sense to not want to try and help better the lives of people who don't have it as easy as I do, or as easy as I did.
I need to ask you something, Alia.
Yeah.
When it comes to your visual effort, do you want me to answer as your mother? Or do you want me to answer as one of the keepers of the academy? And what I think you should do? Because
Both?
with that being said, both, my motherly side says, I want you to come home. I want you here with me. I want to show you what you can become this way. But the teacher in me knows that that's not always the best way to learn. I've seen many of mages learn how to cast a new spell because it was the time of need that they needed to cast it. I've seen people grow in experience and knowledge that they could never have gotten by reading a book, by living it. Your connection to magic, connection to the universe itself, can only stretch so far being sequestered. I can't give you the answer. One hand, I hate every second that you're gone. I'll be honest. As I worried, I never doubted your father. But there came a time that he didn't come home. I always assumed that he would outlive me. That I would go to the next realm first. It was hard to bury him. Well, and with that, you know what I mean. To put him to rest.
Yeah.
I'm just still, as your mother, learning that still may be a possibility for you. This is my one suggestion. If you do go back out there, if you try again, learn from your father. Never go it alone. Always be supported. Those friends that want to help you, they might be your only chance to overcome this ever. But if you come back here, you'll never know. And it's something that you'll have to live with and then die with. And if that's something that you're okay with, I accept that. But if that's something that's going to haunt you for the rest of your many years that lay before you, I wouldn't wish that fate on anyone.
I think it would. I think it would weigh down my heart knowing that I would be forever held to this crippling fear. But at the same time, I don't want to put you through same thing that happened with Dad. So, with your blessing, I would like to go back out and try, but if it comes to a point where this isn't something I can overcome, I'll come back.
I can accept those terms. It'll still be hard. But knowing that you're aware of my situation, I want you to be aware that I know your situation. I didn't learn my magic staying at the Vigils. How do you think your father and I met? Fell in love. Out there. Helping people. If you're going to overcome your challenges, you're going to become the woman I know that you can become. In some ways, that's probably how it's going to be. But
I do have a couple of questions.
Of course, is this about anything with being a vigil, or anything with your magic that you've been practicing?
I guess you could say yes to the second. Earlier you had said that sometimes magic casters will learn a spell in a very specific moment. In the last fight of our last mission, I watched one of my friends, her name is Opal, get struck by a very devastating and deadly blow. I watched her die, and I closed my eyes and just kept repeating no to myself. And then I heard a noise, almost as like a clock striking 12 or striking an hour. And I opened my eye, and she was okay. I don't know if per se that was a spell, or I don't know. Do you have an idea?
As she sits there, her posture went from the comforting position more to kind of a contemplative spot. And she, looking down, Alia, do you know? I guess we've never. Do you know how people learn magic, gain the ability to cast magic?
From kind of what I understand, for the majority of people, is it's study, it's research, but I've never had to really study or practice. It's just always happened.
Do you remember what that kind of a classification of a purveyor of magic is?
It's sorcerer, correct?
That's correct. As you know, that's one of the different ways that some people have access to the magic. It usually has something to do with their bloodline. Say, if someone at some point had the blood of a dragon in them, sometimes that magic through the generations will come out, and someone may have powers that no one else has. I don't know about you, but you don't seem like you have that kind of magic in you.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And there's different ways, but usually it has to do with your heritage. I guess it's a good time to tell you as any. It's scary. Do you... How do I say this? Do you know of any magic users like you in our heritage? My mother's mother, your father's father?
No, not that I can think of.
Not that I can think of either. So, if sorcery is connected usually to the blood, there has to be something about yours that's different.
Okay.
For you, it's not necessarily the blood itself, but it's what moves the blood. Alia, when you were born, you had no heartbeat. We thought our one chance of bringing someone in, due to other complications, we knew that the likelihood of your father and I ever having another child would be quite impossible. Your father stayed up for an entire night as I held your cold form in the body. In the morning, he came back with something. He took your form into your tiny form into your arms. He said that he had a solution. Oh, grieving mother, I thought I'd lost my only child. Any sliver of hope was more than I could ever bear. He came back not too long later and said that he'd given you a new heart. Let me show you. And she'll open up her drawer and she'll pull out some sort of mechanism. It kind of looks almost kind of like the letter Y. And she'll put it around your head and place two of the pieces in your ear. This is what those at the Archanium call a stethoscope. It allows you to be able to hear things that have a rhythm better, almost like an amplifier. And she'll take the other end of it that almost kind of looks like a disc, and she'll place it against her chest. Describe for me what do you hear?
A clock?
Yeah, she She places
Oh,
it towards her
chest.
own chest.
Oh, her chest? Okay.
You hear like the rhythmic thumping
beats.
of a
Yeah.
like a dum dum, the dum,
Yeah.
the dum. And she takes it and then she places it against your own chest. And like you said, it's similar to a clock. Not the same thing as a natural heart. It's something that you feel like you've never really noticed before, never really came to your light. But you always noticed whenever you exercised, whenever you held your hand against your chest, the beating never changed. It's usually about the same, consistent tick. I think this heart and the thought of losing you is one of the reasons why I've held on to you so tightly. Still getting over them. But your magic comes from within. You can thank your father for that.
I think Alia would know what to say. She would probably just hold her hand over her chest. Just to an extent realizing she has a part of him with her consistently.
I'd imagine as the time goes by, and as you ask your mother more questions and talk about it, she talks about how she doesn't really know exactly how he created it. Doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand a lot of what's going on, in a sense, under the hood for a life. But it is definitely a connection that you have with your father. And I eventually believe that after talking and coming to a better understanding of both where you both stand, you're both able to that evening find time to laugh and joke and talk about happier things as well. As the fireplace in her office grows dim, he eventually says, well, it's getting late. Are you planning on staying here at the estate, or are you going to return to the lighthouse?
If it's okay with you, I'd like to stay for the night.
Yeah. You're more than welcome. I know that Draven prefers that if Vigils can to stay at the lighthouse, just in case they may need you in a moment's notice, but we're not that far away. I know magic. We can get you there quick if we need to.
I appreciate it, Mom.
Of course. Well, good night. I love you.
Good night, Mom.
With that, exit. Now, with Alia, the conversation with your mother over, we're going to switch over to those who went to the library, which was, Brandon.
I remembered that last session I wanted to do some research.
Yeah.
About like elder curses, so Ren will also go to the library.
That's okay. I was thinking if it's okay with you guys, we're just going to go straight through and then finish probably a little bit early, like maybe like 9:15, and then we'll just stay on for a little bit until we talk. Unless you guys want to take a break. Does anyone need it?
Ladies, I got babies, so I'm good.
I haven't been on for a minute.
I figured since like we're all kind of broken up fairly good, people have a good chance to take a break, or if they need to go use the restroom, it's all right. So we're going to move forward and just finish them just a little bit earlier than we usually, though stay on because we need to discuss some things. Okay. Adelaide, Opal, Moss, and Ren. After your brief exchange with Zacharias, then Boldened, at the Archanium, you head back into the library, also known as Ipsworm Archive, hoping to find some information on various topics. Again, as you enter in, you see what looks to be a gruff, bearded dwarf sitting at the main desk. He has a tome in his hand, and you can see it with every page that he turns, he grumbles a little bit to himself, talking about how paper is so weak, mithril is where it's at. He wished that he could make himself a set of plates out of true fashioned dwarven iron. Cursing all the scholars that came before him in their cheap, easy paper that knows no craftsman, that is only bare minimum. What would you guys like to study? Or you can role play with each other. That's cool too.
Friend, what's your name?
Oh, what was that?
What's your name?
My name's Oswald Firebeard.
Oswald Firebeard.
Yes.
Where's your children's section?
What?
Where's your children's section?
He looks around like, where's the kid? Look, lady, we don't have crazy big children's section, but if you go down the hallway, to the left, to the right, the little alcove with the animal chairs and the little bead, like the bead thing that you run the bead along the track. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm pretty sure there's some I Spy books over there. If you give a mouse a cookie, other such things like that.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Opal will go that way.
Strange woman.
Opal will go that way, and then with the instructions, she will shimmy right, shimmy left, and then shimmy all the way to the back. And then she will find a picture book and do some breathing meditation and just enjoy the innocence.
What picture book do you choose? What do you want it to be about? Oh, the shiny fish book. It's got the textured scales. Yeah, that's a
Good choice.
classic kids novel. Definitely a great work of fiction. Very forward thinking.
It is pretty.
Very pretty. Quite enjoyable.
Yeah.
Which animal chair do you choose?
The zebra.
That's a good choice. Classic too.
Basic.
A little bit, but what? Well, here's the question, Ren. If you were going to choose one of the animal chairs, what would you choose?
The rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros is
Not
cool
even
too.
a question.
I don't know. I'm more of an alligator kind of guy, but
Okay.
I'm going
Okay.
with the alligator.
yeah. David and I are on the same page.
Is there a giraffe?
Probably. We can make it. I don't know. There's every animal except a giraffe.
The giraffe will be my backrest, and then the zebra will be my footrest.
Oh. Double up. You see that as you enter in, there's a little kid, in the corner.
Shiny arm.
Just
Yeah.
full plate.
It's a little kid in a like a scraggly tunic, is like reading like Where's Waldo,
Oh.
and like except it's D&D version, so it's probably like, well, where's Volo?
Puts the axe down.
Yeah, as he like looks,
Yeah.
this little boy like looks up from his little reading nook that he's made on the lion chair. He'll look up at you and go, yeah, the lion. He took it before you could choose it, so it's not an option. But
It's okay.
he looks at you clad in your full like metal armor, your large like axe and your shield. As you set down your stuff, you open up the fishy book and start reading close by. He looks up at you and goes, give me back to his book.
Okay.
Adelaide, you'd like to do a little bit of research?
I'm looking to see if you have any books that might be able to help me to understand symbols, like religious symbols or group symbols. Something that could help me to identify ancient writings, or like let's say that this drawing belongs to this group, or
That's quite a large asking. It's like if you were to go into the mine and say, "Give me some ore." Well, which kind? You know? Are you looking?
multiple kinds of ore.
Very much so. I mean, look at yourself. You have gold, you have silver, you have fine steel on your person right now.
I guess I never really thought about where it came from. So
It's different. Very much so. Look, I'll show you.
And he'll grab like the golden chain. I imagine that you almost have like a golden necklace with like a silver medallion on it.
sure.
He'll grab that and he'll take the chain and he'll like bend it just apart like that.
See? Very, very pliable metal.
And he'll grab out like from underneath the table like a large mithril battle axe, and he'll like go to like bend it.
See? It doesn't bend. Not at all. Very strong.
Can you bend mine back, please?
Yes. He'll cast mending on it as he.
I hate doing it this way, but it's the quickest way, and it just takes out the thrill of the craft.
He'll cast mending on it and just reforms back together.
It hurts every time I do it. Here you go.
She's like very like hastily pull back the chain and like put it back on her, and that was like that really bothered her for some reason.
Really bothered her.
That really bothered her, and so she's gonna put her hand over her necklace, kind of like protecting it a little bit. So you don't just have like a catalog. This symbol means this, and this symbol means this. Like religions, like maybe
Catalog?
a nice organized list of all the religious symbols and what they mean, who they belong to.
Lassie, have you ever done studying before?
Yeah,
Well, what did you study?
never
Now, how'd you study that?
from a book
Out of a book, right?
and out of the body occasionally.
Yeah,
If
that
they were
makes
lucky.
sense.
Or I guess if they weren't lucky.
Fair enough. Now, here's the thing. You had two places there to study medicine. A book and a body. Now, what you're asking for is symbolism for religion, culture, history, just everyday symbolism, all these things. By the Nine Hells, you could have many different books and
Oh,
other
of course.
things.
Many different books.
Yes, this is a library. We have many different books.
I'd like to see the many different books about symbols.
The thing is, there's not a lot of books that just cover symbols.
Why?
Because someone needs to read all the books, figure it out, and then put it into one book. And I don't really know if someone's really cared to do that. But think about it like this. If I was going to try to find a new mine, I would start off by searching little bit by little bit in each of the mountains nearby. But then once I found a grain of nugget in one that seemed to find a good vein, I'd stick down my plot of land and I'd dig myself a home. Does that make sense? In the context of our conversation.
Why would you make your home in the mine? Oh, context. Yes.
I mean, out of context. That's where you build your home if you're going to be a dwarven. And follow the tales of battle.
I see.
Your home is in the earth. Anyways, that's besides them.
She's gonna reach her arm out and she's gonna like clasp the dwarf's arm and she's going to be like, I understand. This library will be my home. And then she's gonna like just look very serious and just like walk off and start looking for books about symbols.
That's not what I mean. Wait, come back. Do you want to do an investigation check and go slowly, or do more of a perception check to see if you can like quickly ask their face?
He's gonna do like an Amigo Montoya, kind of like channeling the spirit of Yelfoth, and see if she'll be like led to a book that's like around kind of what she's.
I love that. Do a religion check then.
Okay.
As you pray to your god for assistance in this moment, knowing full well the day prior, you basically felt like you were chastised for not being religious enough. You're like, I'll show you. I'll be religious by the way I find my books.
She's gonna close her eyes, and as she's kind of like walking, she's gonna kind of mumble to herself and like, okay, we're gonna try this again. Oh, I forgot to give myself advantage. Dang it! I told myself as soon as I was gonna do this again, I was gonna give myself advantage, but I didn't, and I rolled a 10. And so it's a 12. It's a 12.
It is a 12. The first time you close your eyes, you take about 2 steps. You run into a bookshelf. Kind of hurt a little bit, but
she's gonna put her hands on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna try again. Like, oh, you led me to this bookshelf.
Yeah.
Can she do that?
Yeah.
Okay. She's like really reaching here. She's like really reaching.
Wait.
What?
Are you going to cast guidance on yourself?
No. Wait, no.
Alia somewhere
Guidance.
from a mile away says, hey, you should cast guidance.
Alia. It turns out that Adelaide's conscience is just Alia's voice in her head. Remember, guidance is just advantage, right?
Yeah, it's just a advantage on the any skill check within them. On a skill check within a minute. 10. You reach up and you grab a book and you pull it out. You don't see a title on it. It's no title.
I'm gonna flip that open.
All right.
With a little read. A
As you
little skin. She's not.
As you start to read, you realize that this is someone's diary.
Whose diary?
At first, like it doesn't mention by name. It's just like the classic start of Dear Diary. Today I da 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 da. Which led me to believe that one day maybe I could da 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 da. It's a lot of like that inner monologue. As you kind of get sucked into this, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Like, why would someone's diary be in a library? You start reading it as this seems to be some sort of either, you're not quite sure, but maybe they were a vigil once. But then, like, the way that their tone is, sometimes you almost think that they're not a vigil at all, but maybe even someone who has more malicious intents. As you read forward, you can tell that they are someone that's not from even Yavna itself, but from a completely different land entirely. They, as you read, you can see that they harbor very strong opinions about moral justification in acts done, saying that to know good is to basically allow the suffering of others to cease the suffering of more. It's kind of cynical in a lot of regards, and
for the first page or two that you read. You don't catch anything on symbolism, but it's an interesting read nonetheless.
If she holds the book like this in her hand, goes, any symbols, any drawings, any diagrams.
As you flip through it, you find the diagram, what looks to be almost like something that someone drew, but it's layered. Like a layered representation. And each representation, from what you look at, it looks to be a representation of the different planes of existence. As it shows the known cosmic identity of the worlds, as each one, from the looks of it, was a building block for the last. As one of the lowest ones that has been explored is the plane of limbo, which is complete chaos. As it heads more towards the top, it gets to become more lawful and more focused on order, though some of those planes lose themselves in becoming so focused on gains and stuff like that that they've even turned evil. And you can see what's clearly described as like the placement of the 9 hells in between the other planes. A lot of those planes that come before this plane are considered to be the lower planes. The last one, the one that's closest to the world that you inhabit, is known as the Shadowfell, which is basically a mirror image of this world, but one steeped in darkness and death. Alongside it, and basically the same level, split between the two, is what is called the Feywild, which is almost a complete opposite of full of vibrant life, full of creation, but to the point of chaos again. After this plane, as it continues forward and up, it shows the planes of what are usually considered the upper planes, as the realms where spirits go, usually if they're good aligned, when they die. The places where gods dwell. A lot of them notice like the symbolism between the sun and the moon as these upper planes. That catches your eye for yourself. As you know, a cleric, and what was previously mentioned in this episode with some sort of conversation, I think it was with the man in the Archanium, the place in which you end up after you die from your plane of existence is a plane that you are most closely connected to. Other than that, a lot of people who follow Yalfa end up going to his domain, which is known as the moon. Some of them go to the sun, some of them even go to the stars. Some of them go to the void. It's interesting. That's about as much as you can get from this.
What does the last entry say? Very end. To the end. Last entry.
You flip to the very end. It says, from what you can tell, I never thought that delving too deep would have cost me everything. To go past chaos is to be undone. If my record is the only thing that survives, I hope anyone else would be smart enough to not follow me.
And Adelaide's gonna just be like, well, that's not what I was looking for. And she's gonna close it and just kind of like tuck it under her arm and just keep going down the road.
The name that you see at the end, as it's kind of monogrammed, would have been Draven Duril.
What?
Draven Duril.
That
Does that ring a bell to me?
Make a history check.
Okay. That's actually like, all right, moving on. Oh, nice. We're looking at a natural 20.
Unnatural 20. Oh, easy. This is like you read it and you're like, oh, cool. And you shut the book and then you open it up again. Draven Duril is the leader of the Vigils right now.
Oh, wait. So then I have heard the name before, even like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much so. You've met the man.
The book's coming home with Adelaide. Just want to take that. All right. She's gonna add to her things to do list. Go find Draven and maybe spend a little bit more time looking at the book. But she really is right now one track mind, just looking for books about symbols. So she's just
You don't find any books specifically
books?
about symbols.
at all.
With a 10,
Not on that
not
bookshelf.
really. Not on the bookshelf. You think that there probably is like common symbolism throughout religion, and like you've seen books like that prior. Though with like the distraction of what you previously read, it makes you go, interesting. You aren't quite as focused as what you'd like to be to look for yours. You think, though, if you have more time later, you'll be able to find a book to your liking.
Okay.
Moss is gone. I was going to have him go next, but sadly enough,
Go next.
What was that?
Ren.
Ren! I was going to say that. Ren, what you looking for as your patriots have all kind of separated in different directions?
So
I think
what I want to look for is a book about elder curses, if possible, curses in general, if I can't get that specific. Particularly like the healing of curses, or like the nature. Maybe even one if it's like the logging different types of curses, to see if I can find one that like it is in line with what I am familiar with. Possibly there's like I want to say like entomology of curses, but whatever the word for entomology is for a curse, you know.
Cursology.
Yeah, the Cursology. That's the book I'm looking for, I think.
Yeah.
Elder Cursology.
Elder Cursology. I didn't meet him on my mission. Sorry. Make a investigation check.
Investigation. Okay. Could I? No, I'll do an investigation. I was gonna try to argue for survival. That's a 1.
1. You realize that there is a rhino chair over in the kids section. And you know where you're going.
Look, I can't resist it. It's comfy. It's got that horn to hold on to.
Yeah, the one, that's right. Right in the spot.
Yeah, well.
Dang.
I find in like the kids section like an ABC book of curses.
Yeah. A is for I just have to get that. B is for bronchitis.
Yeah, it's just like sicknesses.
C is for Alakazam. Kalahazam.
Alakazam. It's a terrible ABC book. I will admit that.
It like does the thing like U is for you and me, but U starts with a Y. And you're like, what? I will give you this as time goes on. Later in the week, Elaine will find you probably in the hallways and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
I've seen that you've been going to the archive lately to study. I'm assuming uncurses from asking Oswald.
Yeah, I've tried my best, but they don't really have all the curse books must be checked out or something. To really, maybe by you. I've never thought about that.
I was going to say that it's because I'm holding onto most of them.
Oh my gosh.
At the time. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. I like you, so I'll let it slide this once.
I wanted to inform you. I was thinking I'm pretty full with duties for the next probably about 2 weeks. But after that, do you think we could maybe travel to your home and I could take a look at this?
Yeah, of course.
Now, I want to be honest with you. Elaine Bjornhart will lean forward and says, I fully expect if I were able to find a way to help break your family's predicament, that you'd assist in my family's.
I was already planning.
Thank you. My other request for you is kill Barren. No.
Murder him in his sleep.
No. I would like you. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think you already probably tried, but keep an eye on Barren. I think he's a little bit lost between who he is and who maybe someone from his past wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Try to lead him towards the good things. I know that your beliefs are challenged heavily around most of Yavna. But I think one of the beautiful things about it is you're able to find beauty in things that most people can only find fear in. If you can help, maybe rub a little bit of that off him, I think it might lead him to becoming a little bit of a better person. Hopefully not stuck in the same track that some of those that came before him were stuck in.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I know that you're busy, and I really appreciate you taking your time to help me.
I know that's not without a price. You're helping me eventually. But I also know that
I hope that's also because we both know what it's like to lose people.
Yeah.
At least we can support each other. With that, she'll turn around and walk off.
All right.
All right. So
Is there any paperwork that needs to be done to like make going to my home like our next mission?
That's a good question. So
Or is she taking care of that?
basically, the way it works is whenever you guys are on downtime, and this is a good thing to bring up, because it's not really been explained well. Basically, between missions, you all can have basically like some time set aside to go and travel. Like a lot of people go to, you have basically a one trip to use the teleports to go somewhere and back. Now, the teleports only can take you to places that are like Vigils outposts, and they ask you if you are going on one of these trips to stay fairly close in case they need to call you back for a mission. But rules can be kind of persuade as in like, hey, we have some personal business that we need to go take care of. Can we go do this we'll plan on like the next week going and taking care of this. And if that's the case, then it's not too hard to do that, as it's fairly easy to say, we can make sure that we don't put something on you. That's basically what she's doing as well. Is like she says, all right, hopefully within 2 weeks we can plan on being able to go out there and see what your family is.
Okay, so it's not necessarily our next mission, but it's like
it basically can be kind of like a next mission, but it's not like
it's a little excursion.
And it's not like you're going to get paid to go and do that, but that's what I'm kind of more meaning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. With that, I think, is there anything else that you had your little thing, Barren? Opal and Adelaide, did you have any other things that you'd like to accomplish this week?
She's gonna check her inbox. Just got a letter.
Not yet.
She's good. At least inbox is not common.
Yeah, since Opal's just been a little more quiet for obvious reasons. Opal's been more quiet because Faith has been busy, but but applying it to in-game, I think Opal would have taken time to just de-stress and ponder. That's kind of the reason why she went to the kids section, to just kind of calm herself down and kind of put her head back on and just cool herself down with all the stress of just everything and admitting things. And I think she chose that book in particular as there's one special fish. There's a bunch of special fish, but this fish has a special scales. And she kind of relates to the fish, as maybe the fish feels lonely, maybe the fish feels not accepted. But eventually the fish is loved, so that was kind of comforting to Opal. As silly as it was with intent to just have Opal just...
I like that.
Yeah.
Real quick, Chase.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is all like within a week or if it's all one day. Alia does want to buy a pair of sending stones.
Pair of what?
Sending stones? Okay. Let me look up the sending stones, and then I'll be able to give you.
Could we do like a shopping trip?
Yeah.
Like next time, maybe? Would we have time? Because then we could all kind of prepare
Would it
what
be-
we want.
Yeah. Would it be okay if like each one of you, if you have like look through your finances, look through that stuff, and if you have questions on, especially like magic items are a little bit more, and then we could maybe role play out the shopping portion of next session. Is that all right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I just think that'd be better if we had everyone
Yeah.
do a quick
Especially with like being make sure that we get Moss and
Yeah.
Pinky there. They might have things that they want to get.
Yeah.
You had one last thing that you wanted to do?
If there's time within the week, at some point I'd probably want to try and help Pinky out with the studying thing, but I would also like to try to find information or recall information and practice making witch bottles.
Witch bottles?
Mhm.
Okay. With that,
And
I'd
then
like
just generic training. So if anyone wants to do a training montage with Barren.
yeah, I'd like you to do an alchemy check. In crafting a witch
I'm
bottle.
assuming I have advantage since I'm proficient with
Um,
alchemy, or no? Is it because
question
this is
is-
a very
If it's an alchemy check, then you'll just have proficiency.
Okay.
But if it's like a history check that uses alchemy as you're trying to recall how to make witch bottles, then you'd be able to get advantage, if that makes sense.
Okay. I'll let you decide. I mean, I don't know how many he made.
Okay.
I think that was more handled by other people.
Sure.
So I think he's trying to put things together and trying to figure out.
Trying to
how
figure
the
it
things do.
All right. Well, then let's just do let's just do an alchemy check to see kind of where your baseline is.
And you said I do have my proficiency bonus?
Yeah, and it'd probably be it would probably be intelligence that you base it off of.
Okay. It's going to be a 15.
15. Not too bad. Yeah, with 15, you feel like you're well on your way to being able to work through the different combinations that would cause these bottles to gain their proficiency. You know that these bottles, in some ways, in Yavna, were really brought here because of your great-grandfather. And the stories of like a lot of the things that he used in them kind of starts to remind you. You're able to start the process of making a simple one. Simple witch bottle. You think that this one, from what you can tell, with the simple one, is it might be able, like, for a witch to be able to enter an area of probably around 30 feet of it, it'd need to make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw. So,
Let me write that down so I don't forget. Which one? Constitution, you said?
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, other than just like generic training and trying to help Pinky, that's pretty much all I would, I think, try to do. So I don't know if I can roll for those to try and gain inspiration or.
Yeah, definitely. Go for it. If it's just general training, is there anything specific? Just so that you know what check that you're doing.
Maybe because let's see, proficient in that. I don't really have anything that I want to work on specifically with that. So no, that one will just be a generic one.
Okay.
And then for Pinkies, I'll do I'm looking for something specific for Pinkies. So.
All right, sounds good.
So I will roll the
generic one.
Generic
There's
training.
nothing that's really.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one will be for Pinky. Also no.
Okay.
But can that one go? The Pinky one go to my investigation?
Yeah, they can. As you search and scour for books about monsters and missing children.
I rolled a 2 on both of those dice.
Yeah, you're not doing great.
I've been in a terrible dice streak lately, guys.
Try. So we tried just rolling this one. It's actually rolled really well. Give them to me. I rolled a 19 just barely.
He's gonna betray me. I just know it. Well,
Okay, not bad. Anyways, with that, if there's nothing else that would like to be accomplished, towards the end of this week, Reginald actually asks you all to meet up again.
ooh.
You are summoned. Your pendants glow, and you think it's all right. Well, this is go time. As you all end up in front of the envoy, Reginald greets you and says, "Oh, my trusted Vigils, it's so good to see you again. How's everyone doing?" His very uncanny, really happy smile permeating his face a little. So, thank you for coming here as fast as you can. Though I want you to know it's not like too big of a rush. You have a little bit of time on this one. It's going to take a little bit, anyways. Give yourself. I'll just say right now, you guys have probably another 1-2 days that you could probably use to prepare yourself. But we have another assignment for you. I know it's just 1 week it passed, but we got a little bit more that we can get you to do. We have been hearing reports of something about a haunted house, ghosts near Elke. Reports say that here, and it's weird, we're getting different reports. Some say that the house is moving. Some say that it's been there for decades. Some say it's a tavern that shows up in the middle of the evening only to disappear in the morning. Some say it's an old mansion. Some say it's an evil place, and some say it's terrific as a good thing. So we figured this one would be a good experience. I think I mentioned it's close to the city of the port city of Elke in Theodore. So it's probably from our closest vigil outposts. It'll probably be almost 3-week travel, if not longer, to get out there. So take some time, get the preparations that you need. And yeah, I hope the road finds your fancy. You have any questions for me?
I'm ready to kick some ghost butt.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear.
Wait, so we have 2 days to prepare.
Mhm.
And to get to this city will be 3 weeks.
Yeah. And then you'll have your time there and most likely 3 weeks back here.
Okay.
Don't you guys have magic that can just, like, put us in LK?
Now, I have a question for you, Barren. Is that all right if I ask a question?
I don't know. Do you want to keep your tongue?
Yeah, I do. But are you going to cut it out? Is that what you're saying?
What's your question?
Let me ask my question. All right.
Cuts off tongue.
No. If you were going to do a triple backflip, how much energy would that take? Do you try? Right there. You just rolled.
Just roll.
It wouldn't have counted because you didn't say anything. Takes a lot of energy, usually a little bit of height, to be able to do something like that. Think about teleportation as doing a triple backflip. Usually just standing on the ground and jumping. It takes a long time to be able to practice enough to be able to just do a triple back. Usually you have to start off on a high point anyways. The magic circles, the teleportation places that are in the outposts, basically give you something to spring off of. the power doesn't necessarily have to come from you to be able to do such a feat. And with however many vigils that we have going around, it takes a lot from us to not only keep our defenses up, but to keep the teleporters going. And the cost of putting you right in the town that you need to be, especially when we don't have a place set up there yet, can be quite substantial, if that makes sense. I think anyone would know that you don't want to overswing a sword just to leave yourself defenseless.
Yeah. All right.
That's my analogy for the day. I hope that found you in a good place. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Y'all have a great day. Bye. He skips merrily away.
Super guy.
Opal will make just a stank face, like, what?
And with that, we're going to end the session.
Sounds good.
Dungeon.
Dungeon. Dungeon.